Hey guys, Declan here. Welcome to episode 3, the Road to Dublin Marathon. So this week's a bit of a shorter week. Maybe this report will be a bit shorter. I don't know how far or deep it'll go. But last week I was away on holidays. So I spent a bit of time with the family. Then I had a weekend away with the son over to the football. And as such, time was very much at a premium. So for me, I compressed a few sessions together, and I had to skip a session as well. So I'm still quite early into the training block. It's I think 14 weeks to Dublin, as it started last week, so 13 weeks from now. So missing a wee session or two, or conjoining, bringing them together where the efforts aren't too hard. It just made sense to do. So how did last week go? Last week's 4 mile easy was my first run. Just recovery run. It was done at a fairly easy pace. I've got my Strava up here because I forget most things in life. But if I remember correctly, I was done at 9:08 pace. Had the heart rate monitor on, had the watch on, but you know what, I never looked at it once. In fact, I actually recorded last week's video while running the 4 miles. So you can see from the video, if you've watched it, what I mean by an easy effort, that you should be able to hold a conversation, that it shouldn't be taking too much out of you. And you know what, it was just lovely, relaxed. Weather was a wee bit poor in terms of the overcast and windy, but the run was just uneventful for which is good, which is really good. So easy runs, nice and simple with that there. Then on Tuesday I was what did I do on Tuesday? Yes, Tuesday was the run around the port up around the north coast. And again, there's another video for that there, so you've experienced pretty much all the runs for the week. But the plan for what was on my plan this week in terms of easy runs was the 4 mile easy, an 8 mile easy, and another 3 mile easy. And on Tuesday then of last week, I brought the 8 mile and the 3 mile together. Ended up doing 11.5, just because of the course that I'd picked. And again, uneventful. Absolutely stunning course, stunning route. I took lots of photos, lots of videos, and just spent the time exploring and enjoying the scenery. Effort wise, there was a couple of points where I wasn't really looking too much at the heart rate or looking at the data, the pace or anything like that there, because I was just so engrossed with the views that I was experiencing. And if you ever get a chance to do that run, it's absolutely gorgeous. So I started in Port Rush, just at the far end of it, and came through the port up over the Ramore Head, then onto the East Strand, and then followed the coastal path. Thanks to everybody in Virtual NI group for giving me directions on that there, and somebody like me who gets lost on a straight line was able to find it fairly okay. A couple of wee stopped off around Dunluce Castle, and then stopped at the Giant's Causeway as well, and took lots of videos and photos there where I met the family. So I sort of brought lots of things together in that run. I brought in the 8 mile, the 3 mile, and the family sort of day out as well, because they were heading over to the Giant's Causeway, and instead of me driving over there, I run the coastal path. So still got my run done, but was still able to spend some time with the family as well. So it was really good. What did I learn from that there run? Just to take time out and enjoy it. So and whenever you're away on holidays, or if you're taking a break, and it is quite early in the training block to allow these things to happen. You don't need to run every single day. You don't need to be nailing every single session. It's okay to miss one or two, as long as you're right back on it whenever you come back from your break or your holidays, and the rest is just as good as anything, which is testament to the next session. So 2 days off then, spent with the family, eating out, drinking, having a few glasses of wine, watching the sunset, walks on the beach, just all the things you do when you're at the coast. Really, really nice. So I was back home on Friday, and the plan actually, it had 2 sessions. It had a tempo run and it had an interval session, but again, I knew I was being pressed for time this week, so I brought them together. It's actually one of my favourite sessions to do. It was a wee bit early in the plan, for me to bring these together. I didn't think I would have the fitness to pull them together, but I always knew that I could pull out of the session halfway through if it wasn't going to plan. So the tempo and the intervals, the tempo was originally meant to be sort of 7:45 pace, or tempo effort, as I said in the last video when we were talking about tempo runs, and then the intervals was 6 by 800 meters at 5k pace, and ended up doing bringing them together, as I just said there. And I went to the track, I went to Meadowbank track, just because I knew that, you know, if things weren't going to plan, I could just step off the track and end the session without getting hurt or injured. Don't want to push myself too early too soon, especially as I'm still effectively coming back from an injury. You know, my base was sitting at 0 to come into this here. So back to that session, I brought the two together, brought the tempos and the intervals together. Tempo was meant to be 7:45, intervals at 5k pace, as I said. So I did a 1 mile warm up, followed by my dynamics stretching. Dynamics is such a key part to anything if you're going to be doing any sort of speed work, just preparing yourself for the main session. I followed the ramp process, which I think most people do at this stage anyway, where we're raising the heart rate, activating, mobilizing and potentiating, and it's very specific for myself and the way I do this here. And anybody who's done one of my couch to 5Ks, they should be able to do my warm-up, because it's the same time after time after time. You know, what if it works, why change it up? So the tempos, 12 laps, 12 and a bit laps of Meadowbank track, and you know, click them off. The first 3 mile, or the first mile done at 7:23, second mile 7:23, third mile 7:21. Absolutely brilliant, consistent running. I'm just talking myself up here, but it was just so good to be feeling so fit to be able to run those paces, and comfortably uncomfortable, just at that cusp of it. I knew if I had went out maybe 5 to 10 seconds faster, I could have held it, but it would have been really uncomfortable. So this was just comfortable, just uncomfortable enough for me. Then it was a 4-minute jog recovery, or 1 lap of the track. I didn't even jog it, I walked it around, just because I knew it would take me 4 minutes to walk around the track. And then I went straight into the intervals, and it was 6 by 800, so 6 by 2 laps of the track. And as I say, it was meant to be a 5k pace, which for me over the last few weeks has been in and around that 7 minutes a mile. And I went out and did the first one. I'll bring up the times on these here, because it's interesting to read them. Consistent, they were nice and consistent, which is what I was looking for. And they were also faster than I anticipated as well, which is yeah, always going to happen whenever it's on the track, because it's controlled. There's no hills, there was no wind, bouncy surface. Lovely to do that there. So what were my let me just check, sorry, 5,000 meters. So what are my intervals that time? So the first 500 meters was done at 6:42 pace. Next one 6:49, next one 6:50, then 6:45, 6:45, and the final one done at 6:40. Okay, so a wee bit over the place there, maybe went out a wee bit too sharp on a couple of them, but whenever I was aiming for that 7-minute mark pace, you know, it was nice to be doing them all at 6:50s or under. So look, the tempo into intervals usually for me comes in about another month's time into the training block, but as I say, because I was so pressed for time, I brought those 2 sessions together, and I'm actually really glad I did. It was a real good confidence booster for myself to know that my fitness hasn't completely waned. The speed just isn't where I was at 3 years ago, as we alluded to at the beginning of this series, where I am coming into this in the worst possible shape I've ever been. It's not the fittest I've ever been going into a marathon training block, but we are getting there. We're getting there step by step. We're adding layer by layer by layer of fitness on that there, and that's coming to fruition. Then I had 2 days off again to finish up the week. Saturday and Sunday I was away over Newcastle watching the football, and you know what, I did the rest was fantastic, because I went out and did a nice easy run today. I'm sort of giving you a preview of next week's episode, but easy this week. You know, it was 8:10 pace. It just felt effortless. It was one of those ones that was absolutely fantastic. You know, there's been a drop in the temperature, the rain was coming down, there's been no wind, 2 days rest. I had nearly 10 hours sleep last night as well because of the rain. So easy felt easy, and it was faster than it has been in a long time too, which just goes to show you how important rest is, you know, how important Dublin to fitness is, and how important it is, you know, to realise, you know, missing a session or two, yeah, you're grand as long as you get back at it. Guys, look, thanks very much for watching again. I hope you are getting something out of this here. If you do have any questions with regards to your training, just give me a shout at any stage. All right, all the best now. Bye bye.